Hello. I can't see my camera, so I don't even know if you can see me right now. How's everyone doing out there? What do we got? Check this out. Okay. I'm there. I can't see it on my screen, but I'm here. All right, guys. Welcome to another live stream. So last week what we did was a wave and a walk cycle. And that was fun. I thought it turned out pretty good. So this week, I think what we're going to do is a similar setup. You guys will suggest and come up with something that we can do together. And then we will just animate that out and see what we come up with. And again, anything is fair game. So if you've been struggling with a type of performance or something that's, catching you up in animation, I can work on that, and we can try to perfect it. And or at least I would show you what my process would be of creating something like whatever it might be. Could be I don't know. So I'll leave it up to you guys. I'll allow you to make suggestions, and obviously I will wait until people get in here. It looks like there's maybe one person in here. That's all it takes. Just one person. Give me a suggestion. Hello, Pavel. How's it going? How's your morning going? Okay. Close. Well, anyway, let's see. I think what we'll do is I'll just jump into a character that I have ready to go, and then we'll see what we can do with that character. Let's see. This week, what am I feeling? What kind of animation would be fun to do? Would be challenging, because we always want to be challenging ourselves. That's how we get growth. And what would be, I don't know, something interesting for you guys to watch? Because that's why we're here. I'm here to entertain you. I'm your entertainment for the morning. So thanks for showing up, and let's create something. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Entire screen. Here we go. All right, so this is the character that you learn character rigging from my tutorials. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm glad I could be some inspiration and some help for you. Yeah, rigging can be, especially if you don't know kind of where to start. Rigging's tough. I never wanted to be a rigger. It's not something that I ever thought I would be doing, but once you get into character animation and you work with like small teams where it's mainly just yourself, you have to learn how to rig. And that's probably exactly where you were, Pavel, is you had a character you wanted to animate. Nobody's there to rig it for you, so you got to learn it, right? But let's see. Back to this character here. What can we make him do? He's going to be changing colors. I changed his colors on the wrong layer. I'm too lazy to go back and fix it. So I'm thinking we do something fun. I'm thinking we do something cool. So what can we do that's cool? Any suggestions? I see people there. You're watching. If you're watching this, throw something out. We could have him be, well, let's think of an emotion. And then we'll think of the performance. Should he be happy, sad, angry, curious, scared? That's the majority of our human emotions, unless you can think of another one. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool. Salto. What's salto? I don't know. I mean, that sounds like a cool expression, right? Or emotion right there. How you feeling, Salto? My camera dark? I can't even tell. Hey, Toko. Do a flip. You want the character to do a flip. Wow. An air flip. I can understand how that would be. That's a tricky physical dynamic where your body is doing a lot of different things. And to get that right is very challenging. That's a good suggestion. I'm going to put it on the back burner right now. What I like to do is have, at least in these like early kind of live streams we're doing, because I'm trying to build up my actions library. So everything that I'm doing is going toward the goal of creating different performances that I can utilize in different stories. I'm worried that a flip in the air is not something I'm going to use all that often, although that would be really cool. Let's put it on the back burner for now. If there's nothing better that comes up, then yeah, maybe we'll try that. Maybe we'll tackle that one. And to be honest, I don't even know if this character can really do a flip. I would probably need like some different poses for him to be able to achieve before he could do a flip. I'm not sure. He could do probably like a cartwheel. The challenge for the flip is that you need your body to, well, for this angle, the character would probably be turned to their left or right. And so you would need the body to be turned, which I could do. I don't know if I could really get the kind of compression in the body that I need. I mean, that might work. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that would work. And then the legs would come up like this. And then I would have to turn this foot around, which now I know I can. But it would be something like this maybe for the flip. The neck kind of breaks a little bit, but it wouldn't be a pretty flip, that's for sure. But it would be possible. I guess I could do it. Before we go into that, are there any other suggestions? Anything that someone else might want to, like a performance that could be easily reusable for any character? Now, if we did like maybe like what if we had like a character who was looking at something and either they dropped it or it broke, and their expression went from curiosity to what it was that they were looking at to panic because now it's been broken and it doesn't belong to them, and they're trying to like hide what they've just done. So they like put it off to the side and it's just like hands in the pocket kind of, and then they kind of just dart out. So the emotion could go from like curiosity, fear, panic to guilt, I guess. Well, we got to figure out something. Do you guys want me to just pick it and go? I appreciate your suggestion, Pavel. Let's try for like maybe like next week or the week after. We could try more like experimental stuff to where it could be like a one-off or a throwaway animation that, you know, for this experience here would work, but maybe not for like a long-term project down the road. We could try that again. Try some of my workflow. Let's see, what do you mean by that? So try, you just want to see how I work in this program and like my workflow for animating a character. Because if you're here for that, you're in the right spot, because that's what we do. So we're going to get some character animation going, and then you're going to see exactly how I animate that character. And you get like a real-time live experience where you understand, oh, that's how long it takes you to animate something. Because it's always, even for me, oh, you got to go. All right, no worries. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for your suggestion. Have a great day. It always impresses me sometimes how quickly I can do things, and it's cool to like sit down. Well, obviously there's interruptions, but but just like be completely focused on one thing. It's really cool to see what you can create, like doing 6 to 8, sometimes 10 seconds of animation within like a 2-hour time frame. I love to be able to write that off and be like, boom, that's exactly how long it took me to make that animation. Because sometimes you're working on a piece of animation and then a part of compositing and rigging, all these things at the same time, to where it can become very intangible to understand, like, how long did it actually take me to animate that. But it's cool to yeah. All right, let's come up with something. I think I'm just going to go with what I'm thinking in my own head. It's the easiest thing I can come up with. What we'll do is we'll have a character maybe holding something, and somehow that thing is either dropped or it's broken, and their shock turns into panic because they didn't want it to break. And then what they'll do is they'll try to hide it, put it back into position. It's like, okay, no harm, no foul, don't look over here, nothing to see. And then they'll kind of sneak off or sneak away from that scene. I like it. I'm just going to do it. Let's make it happen. But I think what we could do is some suggestions. So if our character is going to be potentially destroying something and they need to put it back and hide it, what is he going to be destroying? What could he break? What could he break that he's so worried about that he has to hide it and sneak away? He could break something like, obviously, a pot, or he could break a branch, or he could break... Go. Come on. You guys can do it. Give me a suggestion, anything. And I'll, and I know this is a character from like biblical times, so you could come up with maybe something from biblical times. I don't really care. It could be a phone, it could be, but the idea is that it's not his. He's just picking it up to look at it, and then it breaks. But we got to get some suggestions going here. I've been sitting in front of the screen for almost 20 minutes. Haven't done anything but talk. Maybe I'll just start animating. And then later on, we can figure out what he's holding. All right, so let's jump into that. He's going to be holding something. And then it breaks. Or he's looking at it with curiosity. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, snap. And he's like, oh. Maybe he'll be shifty-eyed. Like, did anyone just see what happened? And then he'll try to put it back and hide it. And then he'll maybe hands in the pockets. And he'll back away. Okay? Let's do it. I've got nothing better on my brain. If you guys can quickly think of a suggestion other than what I just said, maybe we can run with it. But right now, I'm just jumping right into this. How did you end up here? Yeah. Same question. How did I end up here? But since you're here, do you have a suggestion for animation? Are you an animator? All right, I gotta hide some bones here. Let's select some bones. Hide these guys because they're just gonna get in the way. Is that it? Okay. Hide these bones. All right, let's pose him like he's actually looking at something. actually, maybe I'll have him. Maybe I'll have him look at something, pick it up. You know, it'll catch his eye. Oh, he'll pick it up to look at it with curiosity, like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And then it breaks, whatever it is. You've never animated anything in your life, and you're here in an animation live stream. I love it. YouTube is a weird thing. Welcome to the internet, right? Well, just for your information, this is called a puppet. And this is how a lot of common animation is done, if you don't know. And basically what you do is you just move this puppet around until you start to get some life into it, and then you polish and perfect that performance until it's ready to be presented in front of people. That's animation. So what I'm going to be doing is posing this character and getting them set up so that they can look at something. I feel like what I need to do is actually make that something. I really don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I don't know, maybe I'll make like a little podium here so that he actually can interact with it. Right. Cool. Cool. Go like that. There we go. We got a podium. I'll use Blender. Nice. Blender's actually not something I've ever used. But man, does it look like you can do some cool stuff with Blender. So you're 3D modeler, or do you do like more of kind of 3D motion graphics? All right. So let's go ahead and, I mean, that looks good. What could this, I'll just make it a vase. Come on, right? Just some modeling, yeah. We'll make a vase here. Or I guess you'd call it a vase. This is going to be a very rough vase. Okay. You know what? Let's hit C, expand that, to T, hide that. Okay, now let's make this a different color. I don't know. Maybe a nice blue. Okay. Oh, you know what this gets into? This gets into a challenge that I have, is getting a character to pick up and hold something in Moho. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. In After Effects, I would have two vases, one that would be stationary, and then another one attached to the character's hand, so that when he went to grab the vase, I would turn off the stationary one and then turn on the one attached to his hands, so now he could animate with it. But this brings up some challenges because I don't really know how to do that kind of layering in Moho. I think I kind of do, but I'm not the best at problem solving like that just yet. But what I do want to do, we'll duplicate this. I'm going to call this one base. And this one will be called stand, maybe. And then we'll come to stand. I'll delete the base. Then we'll come to base. And I will delete the stand. Okay. All right. This is good enough. Actually, I really don't like that base. It looks terrible. Let me adjust some of this stuff. That doesn't look much better. Now, try. Maybe we'll pull that in. Pull this in. Then I'll pull these down. Whoops. Okay, that looks a little bit better, I guess. All right, and lastly, what I want to do is I'm going to change kind of the width of some of these lines just to match him a bit, because he's got these nice thick lines on him. Maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's do the same thing for the stand. But I do like, what I love about this program. Oh, what did I do? Is you see how easy it is to change just the artwork. So you can change line width to get more of a varied effect, which I just think is so cool that you have that ability so easily, just boom, by clicking and figuring out what you want to do. All right, that looks better. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into it, and then I'm going to figure out exactly how I want to transfer this base later on. I'll figure it out. So if you're just now joining, the idea that what's going to happen is our character is going to see this vase, be interested in it, pick it up to look at it, and then to their dismay, either it's going to break in their hands or it's going to be dropped, and they're going to have to figure out how to hide it. And so that's the animation performance that I'm going for today, just to kind of have our character be from curious to horrified and scared to trying to hide their guilt. Like, oh, okay, let's just sweep that under the rug and be out of here. So let's have him We'll have him do a blink here. Actually, I'll just we'll put a keyframe across the whole board. One there too. And smooth these out. Then we'll have a blink here. And then his eyes will open up. All right, there's our blink. Let's smooth it out. I think maybe I'll do the eyes shifting down at this point. We'll just get right into it. Make it kind of quick. So eyes will go down, over to the base. Maybe I'll even turn the head a bit too, and down. Here we go. That was quick. Look at that. Boom. All right, don't worry about that. So he blinks, looks. Maybe right here, what we'll do is have him reach over and grab it. Look at it in curiosity. So right here, I'll have him reach over. So I'm just going to start posing out this character a bit more. I'll have this arm come up. Maybe this one will go behind the vase. We'll turn the body a little bit because he's reaching. Move that over. There we go. And I'll move this a little bit. Okay, so now we have our character reaching over. So they see and they reach. I'm going to smooth this all out. So he looks, and he reaches. It looks like this head didn't get a keyframe here. That's odd. Didn't get a keyframe there either. Well, thank you, Yusuf. Okay, so this is going a little bit too quick. And whenever I move my characters from one point to the next, I always like to put a little dip in the middle. So it creates a little bit of a curve just because weight and gravity, it always seems to be very helpful for me to think that if my character is going to be moving, their weight is going to shift. And so gravity is the easiest force upon our body that wants to pull us down to the ground. So as they move, the most easy or the most common denominator of gravity is to go down. So we'll put a little dip in their body just to give a little bit of weight. So instead of having this linear trajectory, we'll pull it down. We'll have this nice curve here. And I'll have to change the legs around just so they don't bend like that. But all right, that's looking pretty good. What we can also do is put a little bit of a squash here in the body and a squash here in the neck. And then this neck will come back up to 100. So we'll reset it. And then this body will come back up to 100. I'll reset that. All right. There we go. So now if we just watch this real quickly. Starting to get there. It still has a little bit of a robotic feel to it because his arms are just going, you know, A to B, which is not ideal. We don't want it just to be A to B. We got to get some character and life in there. Feel like it's, you know, easing out and easing into the positions. Okay. So the easiest way to do that, or a way to do that, is we could probably put a hold here on these limbs so that they're not moving in conjunction with the body, but maybe they're holding a little bit. Or even better, what we could do, we could have the arms for just a split couple frames, a split second. We could have it maybe rotate backward. Okay. Do something like that. And we'll smooth this out. There we go. It feels like he's setting up, creating a little bit of tension, a little anticipation into the grab. We can do the same thing with the back arm. Oops. We can bend this one back just a little bit. Let's just see it. That might be too much. Maybe instead, maybe we bend the arm back but lift the forearm. You can just play around with it, see how it's going. That feels a little bit better. I'm going to change this hand position. Maybe like that. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So it's feeling a little bit better. Going along with that kind of arms back anticipation, we can do the same thing for the body just to give a little bit more appeal to it. So that as the body, instead of it just coming straight in, we can have it go back just a little bit. So right here, we can rotate it backwards. Maybe we can pull it like this, back and up. Again, I'm not completely sure this is going to look good, but we'll just try it out. Yeah, that feels a little too forced. So maybe it's too much. Maybe it's not necessary. I don't know. Maybe it's not the hips that need it. Maybe it's the torso that needs it. Maybe we'll bend these body back just a little bit, like so. Okay. Okay. It's starting to feel a little bit better. The arms still feel a little robotic to me. Did I lose the... I must have lost the keyframes here. What happened? Let me see. Yeah, they're not there anymore. All right. So right here, I'm going to pull the arm back. And then maybe I'll extend this over so it's not all hitting at the same time. Maybe I'll even see if it can move first. Okay. Now let's look at the other arm. See if those keyframes got deleted too. No, I still got the keyframes. Let's smooth this out. All right. I'm liking it. Obviously, his hand has to go behind the vase, and then the other one in front, and then he can pick it up. Maybe I'll have him do a little step too, because his balance is a little bit off. It doesn't have to be complicated. You know, potentially it could just be a slide. And we'll pull this in so it's a quick slide. We'll smooth it out, and then there we go. So it comes down and up. He does this little thing. This is kind of bugging me. I'm going to change the parenting of this from leg up to the hips, because they shouldn't be turning. I'll also delete any keyframes there are on it because I don't want it moving. All right, cool. So now we have him starting to move, do some stuff. Now, what I'm going to need to figure out is, what do I do about this vase? Because I can't... there must be, I must have to turn the opacity off somehow. I know that there's different ways to do visibility. In this program, I'm just not 100% sure how to do it. I know there's ways to do like, what's it called? Is a switch layer? Does anybody out there know how to turn a layer on and off? Anybody? No? Oops. Okay, now this, oh, it moved. I just need to, no, that's not right. What that happened? So let me get this lined up. Is this it? That's a bummer. Scaling weird? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bone onto this layer and attach this vase to the bone. I could probably just use this one. This one. This is a bone that I created for a sword, but I don't have the sword in here, so. Why are you moving? Why is everything moving? Okay. Let's just get this lined up again. And I know this is not right, but it's the best I can do. So let's just get in here. I'm going to line this, connect it all together. Okay. So now we'll bind this B, G, bind these points. Now when I come to this bone here, it should move the vase. Okay, and rotate it, all that good stuff. Okay. The next thing we'll do, you see how it moves? I'm going to turn off the parenting for right now. And then once this hand gets into place, I'll parent it to, I don't know, maybe the back hand. that bone go? Why'd that bone move all the way over there? Oh, guys. You guys are experiencing me learning this program as we speak. All right, and then as the hand gets to right here, I feel like I'm doing this completely wrong. Can I even do that? Can I parent this to that hand? Oh, cool. Oh, interesting. Oh, oh, dude. Okay, that's cool. So now it's not parented here, and then right here it's parented. Oh, I like that. I really like that. So what that means is you can have it interact with objects as, oh, that's great. I don't think you could ever do that in After Effects. Does anyone else know? Could you do that in After Effects where it's connected to you, but then it's not? Because that is super helpful. I love that. And all I have to do now is put the base in front of that arm and the hand. This might get tricky. Okay. I'm just going to put it up to the top, see what happens. Okay, there we go. I don't know what I did or how that worked, but it worked. So cool. All right, I love that you can connect it mid animation. Wow, that's so cool. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know, should I, maybe I'll have this arm hit at the same time. Because I kind of like the idea of it moving. We'll rotate that upward. And then we'll select these guys. And then we'll rotate them upward as well. Cool. I'll rotate this hand down so that it keeps it kind of level. There we go. All right, so now he's coming in, he picks this up, and I think in the same kind of movement, I might have him back up a bit. And we can maybe straighten him up. Maybe turn his body. Because at this point, I want him to have the vase in front of him. So let's see how I'm going to do this. Maybe we'll move this over. Okay. Let's bring this elbow. No. Pull this up. I think I want the elbow a little bit higher. Maybe we'll go something like that. And then now the question is, if I put the vase in front, let me see, maybe I can turn this back to center. It's going to get interesting here. Just hang with me. How do I want to do this? Should I turn him to the other direction and look at it? Would that be kind of cool? A little interesting? Let's just see it. I'm just playing around with this stuff right now. I don't know if this is exactly how I want to do it. We're going to find out. So I put the hand where I want it. I'll just kind of pretend it's on this base. Then I put the elbow where it needs to be. Oh, I'm making a mess. It grabs it, comes over and looks at it. All right, don't be afraid of making a mess. What we want to get is the poses right. Well, for starters, this hand doesn't need to be moving. Neither hand actually needs to be moving. So I'm going to change these two to step. I need to change this one to step as well. So the hands come up, grab the vase. I've got to get this motion right here accurate. And I think the problem is, instead of going up like it should, it goes down. So I think I just need to rotate this in the other direction like that. And hopefully it'll kind of fix it. Yeah, not really. All right, how do I want to do that movement? Because the hands have to kind of pass in front of the body. So it's going to get tricky. So maybe here we keep the hand down Can it be done where I switch? No, that can't work. Yeah, an in-between pose. This is kind of the fun part because you get to see what your rig is capable of. And then you get to come up with some fun solutions on how to achieve the movements you want. Okay. So this arm almost works well, not perfectly, but it works. So then it's going to be coming into position maybe a little bit quicker. It's just this arm that's holding the vase is not quite working right. So what might end up happening is I just completely ditch the whole turning thing. Although I really want it, I'd love to have him turn and look at it to this pose. I'm not giving up yet. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. Maybe if I get close to the pose I want, maybe I can scale this. I kind of feel like we're getting somewhere. Okay. So if I scale this, it's going to really get gross looking. But it's close to what I want. So maybe I can scale it really fast. So this will go into position here. And let's see. Ugh. I don't know. All right, well, let's scale it up, and then we'll figure it out from there. We'll scale this back to a 100, and we'll just kind of see. Let's see what it does. Okay, it's flipping all over the place. All right. I know this is probably going to mess up my hands, but all right, come on, baby. What am I going to do? So the arm needs to bend down a little bit here. I want to keep with that gravity effect. You know how I was talking about when things transition from left to right? There's always usually a downward swing, or at least in my opinion, that's the most appealing thing, to have it go up and down, have a nice arc to it. So let's see if we can do that where it's coming down. You know what? Maybe that's what we need to do. Is instead of scaling it so much, it just has a nice arc to it. Let's scale this over, and we could probably hide this junk here with the vase. Okay, so let me see what's going on here. Let me just delete these guys. And this arm will rotate over here. Let's have a look. Okay. It's not perfect, but we might be able to hide a lot of these imperfections. So let's see what we can do. So for starters, this face needs to come back up. I'm going to delete maybe that rotation. And we'll re-rotate it this way, change the position into his hands. Let's smooth it out. All right, we're getting somewhere. Still not perfect. It's going to need a little bit of polishing up to do. Yeah, it's going to need a lot of polishing, but it gets the general idea down. So I'll adjust some of the timing here because his hand in front of it moves maybe a little bit too quickly, or maybe this hand in front moves too slow. So let's just see. Maybe we'll do this. Okay. Change that, maybe the position a little bit. Cool. And that'll be fine as long as we kind of ease into this motion a little bit. And then as he shifts here, he's got to kind of settle in a little bit up. There we go. Maybe his head might turn a little bit more. His eyes will definitely be on the base. So right there, that switch where it comes in front of his hand, not a fan. So let's change this a bit so that, I don't know, maybe the body's not turned just yet. Oh, we got some weird movements here on the base. Comes up, it's going to drop, and then right here, I have not saved it yet. I like the risk. I like the gamble. No, that's a good point. Thank you. Thank you, Bosky. Yes, I need to save my file. Otherwise, you guys will sit through this again and watch me tweak all this stuff. Let's save it as I don't really have a character for this guy yet. Maybe we'll just put him in here. And we'll call this I don't know. I'm going to call it vase drop. All right. You know what? I think I'm going to get this vase out of here for a second. I want to see what this hand is doing, because I want to get this hand right, because right now it's doing some weird stuff. All right. So the scale of this arm here jumps up a little too quick. So here's my scale. And now I need the rotation. Hello, I'm good. How are you? So for anyone that's joining us just now, essentially what we're doing is I'm having this character pick up a vase. They're out of curiosity, they're going to examine the vase, be like, oh, that's cool. And then something's going to happen. As of yet, I don't know what it is. Either they're going to drop the vase, or the vase is going to somehow split in their hand. And then they're going to go from curiosity to horror as they realize, I just broke this thing. And it could either be a sacred relic, or it could be just a vase in somebody's house that doesn't belong to them. And what's going to happen is now they're going to go from curiosity to shock and horror to, let me put this back, almost like that scene in Kung Fu Panda 1 where he like drops the vase of like 1,000 souls or something. He's like trying to like hide the fact that he broke it. Oh, and it's so hilarious because you can hear the souls like moaning like, oh, as he breaks it. Anyway, something similar to that scene, just to give you some context of, I wasn't necessarily trying to copy that or even go there, but this scene reminds me of that. So now the challenge that I'm facing is my rig. My rig has limitations, and so I'm trying to find a way to bridge the gap between what I want and my limitations, and then make something that's acceptable, because it's not going to be perfect. I can't quite get this to be exactly how I want. So we're just trying to get it as close as possible. This is basically a little bit of both. I'm exploring the program, and the idea is that anything that I create here in these live streams, I'll be able to utilize either for a client project or maybe even personal work. That being said, I don't know exactly what I would use this performance for, but yeah, it's a little bit of both because I'm still learning this program. Even though I'm a couple months into it, there's still stuff like I just learned how to parent and unparent objects to the animation. So if a character reaches for a vase, that vase I don't have to change at all other than the parenting structure. It could be unparented, and then as the hands go to grab the vase, then I parent it to the hands, and now there's a keyframe that holds it in place. It's amazing. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I wish After Effects had, but they just, for some reason, they don't. So let's see what's happening with this hand. So it kind of turns, and then it pauses, and it jets out here. And I feel like what needs to happen is the rotation of this needs to move quicker. Whoa, look at all these keyframes for the rotation. This should be a quick thing that happens. So let's go and smooth these out. Okay, so this is looking better. It's maybe a little slow because you see how everything hits like right here. But then that's too hard. It's like, bam! Not what I want. Oh, well, that's part of the problem. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, so now I'm just trying to get everything to hit on the same keyframes to clean up the performance. Okay. Again, the scale is not quite what I was hoping for, so maybe I'll keep it scaled down a bit. See, this is what happens when you guys don't give me suggestions and I'm sitting here thinking or trying to figure out what to do on my own. I come up with some garbage and you guys have to sit there and watch me do it. All right. All in all, though, I'm not too unsatisfied with the way this is looking at the moment. Although it doesn't look great, I've seen worse. So let's start adding some in-between keyframes just to get this a little bit closer to perfection. Nice. So we'll go smooth. I'll rotate this like so. Pull this down. You can see the rig is breaking. I really don't care at this point. I wonder, should I scale this arm too? Would that fix that breaking problem? Not really. Kind of a little bit, actually. Okay. I might be making things worse for myself, but let's just see what happens. Holds it. Oh, and then he drops it out of surprise. I like it. See, that's why I like having you guys in here. You give me better suggestions. So a little bit of the problem that is happening right now is we need some follow through So I'm just going to extend the keyframes a little bit, keep the body turning. The head will continue to turn as well as he looks at his vase. Or actually, maybe what'll happen is he's going to hold it up to his head a bit. All right, he's trying to get a really good look at this thing. And as of right now, I would say this is probably one of the most challenging things that I've done in a live stream, is getting this rotation to look right. And it seems like such an easy thing, but because the way the elbows move, it's just so challenging. To be honest, I don't know if I'll do anything like this again, where the elbows rotate while he's holding something. I just don't think it makes sense to do it in a live stream. You guys don't want to sit here watching me try to figure out how to make these arms move. That's boring. Yet, here we are. So these arms are moving completely different at different times. That's obviously a big problem, because if he's holding something, he's got to keep his arms together. Let's reset the scale. And then we'll start to change the scale maybe here. I don't know if it needs to rotate just yet. But it definitely needs to scale in a lot. I don't know, maybe I just have it look funky. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have it look really funky for a second. And then that will just be it. I'll have to go down. There we go. And let's scale it back up. That looks kind of all right, as long as it happens quickly. And maybe that vase will hide something. I don't know. Yeah, I started using Moho probably about, what, maybe 2 months ago? Something like that. And I love it. I don't think I could ever go back to After Effects. Like, I still do stuff in After Effects, but my program of choice at the moment is not After Effects. I'm loving this program. Okay, cool. I mean, this is looking all right. It's not perfect. It's looking all right, though. There's some, like, right here, it kind of, his arm, his right arm does a weird thing where it comes up and then it goes backwards and then forward, which I don't want. So let's see if we can fix that real quick. It's this arm right here. So let's see what's happening. So it comes up. Maybe it's this part here. Up and goes forward and then backward. So let me see if we can just take that one out. There we go. That's looking better. There's still a little pause that happens right here that I don't like. Yeah, the hands are going to look funky for a second. Once I can get the arm movement and the hands looking right, then we'll fix what the hands look like. I'm going to scale it here. All right, we're getting somewhere. Again, it's not perfect, but it has to we just got to do it quickly. And I'm hoping that left hand will be somewhat obscured by the vase, so we won't have to worry about it. All right, let's put the vase back in just so we can get a feel for kind of what it's doing. All right, we'll delete that. Delete that position. Did I delete the parent? Let me see. Let's move this a little closer to the vase. Hopefully that doesn't mess us up. Put that back. All right, and at this point, I get to demonstrate. Here we go. This is the coolest thing I've learned today. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. So the hands come up, and obviously that vase is not parented to the hands. But right here at this point, now I want the vase to be parented to the hand. So all I have to do is parent it to the hand. And now it moves. And right here, it's back on the pedestal. Look at that. Isn't that freaking awesome? You wonder why the hand is rasterizing. Oh, yeah, I don't know why sometimes the layers do that. I think it goes into like a preview mode. That's not how it's going to render. And sometimes yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Have I done an episode with so Moho 33? She does really complicated rigging. Yeah. I've watched some of her tutorials. She's fabulous at what she does. And yeah, a lot of it is just so intense. There are aspects of my rig that I've utilized from her tutorials. I think it's highly beneficial. Like, by all means, if you want to learn how to rig in Moho, she's a great resource to start. Not to start with, but she's a great resource to kind of jump over to. I would say the best place to start, because they lay it out so cleanly, would be with Moho. They have a whole list of tutorials on how to get started. But that's all they are, is they get you started. And then if you really want to get to an advanced rig, I would say transitioning to like Mo, what was her name again? Mo U33. She's going to go in depth and kind of really like amplify what you're trying to do, which is cool. As far as like talking about my main position or like what I do for work, this is essentially it. Yeah, this is for a client. And what I'm trying to do is create all these different actions, like different animation performances. And when you save them out, you can drop those animation performances into any character at any point on your timeline. And so you can start to weave these unique performances with different or multiple actions, which is really cool. That's what makes this program so powerful, is that you don't have the limitation of doing a performance for a character in After Effects and then trying to figure out, well, how do I get that performance into this character? That's what actions are for. You can create these beautiful animations and reuse it over and over across multiple characters. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't say that Moho is easier than Toon Boom. I would just say they're different. Moho, obviously, as you can see, they use this whole bone structure, and you can set things up for IK or FK. I guess the bone structure reminds me more of like a 3D program. But again, I haven't done 3D in a long time, so I don't know where the technology is now. But back when I was doing 3D, you would create your rig and then you would put bones in there and then attach the bones to the rig, or attach the rig to the bones. Then you'd animate the bones. So this feels very similar to that. Um, Plus, you have all these different dynamics that you can apply to your character, such as hair or cloth or even wind. And that stuff, in my opinion, it's the cherry on top. It's what makes the program so nice and powerful, is that once you have um, hair or fabric rigged, all the character has to do is move, and the dynamics are going to push that fabric or that hair along with it. And you can get the different spring and damping effects. It's really amazing. Yeah, so what I essentially do is once I have my base character made, it's basically my template rig. I go in and then I start to change different features like the nose, the face shape, the hair, even the clothes. But I keep the structure of those bones for the rig. And once I do that, all I have to do is animate one performance, and then I can implement that across as many characters as I can make. But what's even cool about that is, from what I understand, even if your rig is a little bit different, let's say that this character didn't have a neck, or their proportions were a little bit different, like the body structure was shorter, or the limbs were shorter, Moho can still translate a performance from a different rig onto this rig, if that makes sense. So the rigs don't have to be perfect. They can be out of scale a little bit. They can be off. It's still going to take those keyframes that you created for one rig, and it's going to try its best to figure out how to translate it for this new rig, which is amazing. So if you've already moved to Moho completely or still using AE for pig work, part of it, which was built around AE earlier. I'm not quite sure what your question is, but what I can say about kind of what you're asking, or I don't know. The project I'm working on now, I started in After Effects, and I was 100% in. I had all these rigs made, I had all the backgrounds, everything was created, and I did 2 episodes in After Effects. The first episode, I knew what After Effects 1 was capable of, and I also knew what After Effects was in terms of lag. I knew that if I was going to be doing characters in After Effects, there was going to be a lot of slow render times, a lot of me sitting there waiting for the computer to show me what I've moved. And so I'd braced myself for that. And so after episode 1, I was like, man, that was rough. And then I jumped into episode 2, and I realized right away, like, I can't keep up this pace. Like, if I'm going to be doing a faster paced production, After Effects is not going to work. Like, it's just not going to happen. I was sitting around waiting for my characters just to move so I could see what pose they were in. I was waiting too long. And if I started multiplying characters upon characters, the program almost didn't even function anymore. So right away, I was like, I have to switch. I have to find a program that's going to work better. And I was playing around with Moho, and I realized not only will my production times get quicker, but it's actually improving my animation. I don't know what it is, the way they interpolate their keyframes or what, but I feel like my animation is just cleaner. It's gotten better. So I love it. Oh, actually, no, I do still use After Effects. The reason that I still use After Effects is because there's a lot of motion graphics work that I'm just more comfortable using After Effects for. From what I've noticed, doing motion graphics in After Effects, there's not a lot of lag. There's not a lot of downtime. It still works pretty well on my computer. It's only when I have character rigs. When I start rigging characters in After Effects, it just sucks my computer of all its memory, all its data and RAM, and I just can't do anything. But I can still do some motion graphics in there. I actually, at this point, like After Effects better for motion graphics. So if you're on the fence about, like, well, can Moho do motion graphics or should I stay in After Effects? Don't come to Moho for motion graphics. Stay in After Effects. It's probably a far superior program for that. But again, I can't speak too heavily on what Moho is capable of because I just haven't explored that side of it yet. I know you can do motion graphics. I know you can. There's like liquid elements and some things that are really cool. Like I created fire in Moho, and I love it. I love the effect that I was able to make. All right, let's get back into this, see what's going on. So we have a movement here. I think I want this hand to move in front of this one a little quicker. All right, well, I'm just going to move this vase around. So as this comes up, this vase will rotate forward. And there is a definite switch here. But before that happens, we'll move it like this, smooth it out. And then right here, there's a big twist. Let's see if that works. And if I move it, the position. All right, So before I completely lock this vase in, I'm going to keep playing around with these arms to make sure their movement is perfect. All right, let's smooth this out. You know what could be funny is if he looks inside and then maybe something like jumps out at him or like makes a noise and he's like, "Whoa!" And that's what startles him to where he drops it. That could be pretty cool. All right, so that's the movement I've got so far. It's not perfect. In fact, it feels like it's a little slow. Really drink something. Oh. Interesting. If he drank from it. All right, so just in case you guys weren't here, the idea for this whole performance is that he picks it up, he's curious, and then his curiosity is going to go from curiosity to horror, shock. You know, he's somehow either broken the vase, dropped the vase. But that's interesting. I like the thought of maybe he looks in and then drinks, and then it's like, and then he puts the vase down like, I shouldn't have drank that, and then he walks away from it. That could be funny too. I like that idea. Let's keep going. Question: do I work during nights, or is it a strict 9 to 18 schedule? Yeah, when it comes to my work schedule, I don't work nights. I essentially work from 9 in the morning to about, I basically work from about 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. So I keep it a very structured timeline. It's because I have a family. And so when I'm here, I'm working. When I'm not, I lock up the office and then I go and spend time with the family. So no, I don't work overtime. I don't work late. I keep a very structured work ritual. So yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I spent enough time just animating. My whole life was just like animate, animate, animate. And then now that I'm older and I have kids, it's just, yeah, I can't work late. It just, my schedule doesn't allow for it. And that's fine. I like having a break from animation. Even though I love to animate, I like to have a break. So yeah. The interface of After Effects seemed user-friendly, but in Moho it's kind of confusing, especially if anyone came from After Effects. But you can do advanced stuff in Moho smoothly. Yeah, the thing that I've always said is that this is a completely different language. So if you're familiar with, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe After Effects, moving into here, throw all that stuff out the window. This is completely new. And that was probably the biggest challenge, was when you spend so long doing something in After Effects or even the Adobe suite, getting into this is just like, it was confusing. I didn't know what a lot of this stuff meant. I was like, even just looking at keyframes, I was like, why are there so many different things? And then why is there this grayed out area? So there's a curve editor, and that's another thing, is that I feel like After Effects, their curve editor in After Effects is a little bit, no, it's a lot superior compared to this graph editor. And so I almost don't even like going to the graph editor unless I absolutely have to. So like if I select this bone here and then I come here into the curve editor, you have to double click on what you want to do with it. So I'll double click on the rotation value, and then you can see my values here. And the only thing you can really do with it is you can move kind of the timing of it, the degree of which it's being amplified. Now, if you really want to, and this is why I like After Effects better, is because all you have to do in After Effects is come to the curve editor, and then I can start manipulating the timing of things just like that. Unfortunately, with this, the only way to do it would be to select the points that you want to manipulate. And instead of going to smooth, you come to Bezier. And then now you can start to manipulate them. Okay, so for instance, with this arm, instead of it going, let's see, what is it doing? Instead of it going forward here, you can curve it backwards, so it's going to get that nice kind of movement back. And then we can maybe adjust these a bit. It goes way too far up there. So yeah, I don't really like, unless I have to, I don't like using the curve editor. So I just keep everything at smooth. And that seems to work really well. The only time that I use the curve editor is if I have a motion where the arm is moving and then it needs to slowly come in and then really pound on something, like quickly hit a desk and then stop. That's a point where you're going to need the curve editor to create that timing. Other than that, I don't use it. I just stick right here in these keyframes. But anyway, thanks for your questions, guys. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, I guess the big question is he going to look inside and see something and drop it? Or is he going to take a drink of it and then find out whatever it was is disgusting and then either put it back? I'd say he would put it back at that point. Right? Any ideas? What should he do at this point? So we've got him kind of looking in the base. I want to speed this section up. So I'm going to see, could it be as easy as him picking it up and then just grabbing these keyframes and then scaling them in? I'm just going to watch that, see what happens. I don't know. That feels a little forced. All right, I'm just going to keep it. And then I'll polish that section up later. So he's going to come here. Maybe he'll look in, and maybe he'll like take a glance around, like, is anyone watching? Then I'll take a drink. Oh, and that's when he's gonna realize that's not water. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. So we'll have him turn, look in. I'll put a keyframe here. Smooth. Then I'll have him look up and around. So he's going to start to look side to side, see if anyone's watching him. Right here, I'll have him bend up. All right, so he's looking. He'll look behind him. I guess the arms could probably drop here a bit. There we go. So he comes in, he looks. He'll definitely be blinking right here. So we'll do a blink. Open. But instead of him looking like that, I kind of want him to look a little more maybe suspicious. Kind of like, So what we can do is raise his eyebrow. Not the shape. Let's do maybe this guy here. Put that back. I'll change his mouth shape too. So maybe here he'll go. What's up, buddy?
Good.
Yep. All right, let's get this tied up.
You can even turn the bottle.
What? Yeah. Here, you want to see what I got so far? Yeah. So I'm going to have him drink out of it. He's going to think it's water. Oh, whoops. But it's not going to be water. What do you think's going to be in there? It's going to look, and he's going to look around like, is anyone watching? What do you think should be in the bottle?
Poison.
Poison!
What's actually in the bottle?
I was thinking it could be like pee or something. Someone peed in the bottle.
And he thinks it's orange juice.
He thinks it's orange juice. What about apple juice?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gross. Have you ever done that?
How?
Thought it was apple juice?
No. Oh, really.
Oh,
So
gosh.
you can't. So.
All right. Hop out.
Sorry, don't walk me.
Good luck. See you, dude. All right. So he's going to look. He'll look to his, what is that, his right. He'll look to his right. And I'll have him look to his left. Oops. And I'll turn maybe here. I'm going to go like this. Eyes will definitely go to the other side. Okay. There goes left, right. Could probably speed this whole thing up. Maybe not that fast, but there we go. Let's go smooth. We'll put another blink in here. Moho courses in the future. At this point in time, I don't have anything planned to do a course. They take a lot of time, and I don't have anything scheduled because, like I said, I work my 9 to 5, and that's basically all the time I have to focus on animation at the moment. So right now, no Moho courses. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I just don't know. All right, so now we got him looking in this direction. So he grabs it, he looks in, he looks around. The thing that I notice right now is the timing just feels a little too loose, right? There's not a lot of like structure. In animation, you want to have your holds down perfectly so that it's snappy, and you don't want your character kind of floating around too much. And that's kind of what this guy feels like. He feels a little floaty to me. So I want to fix that. I don't want him floating around. Question is, how am I going to fix it? Let's see. That might be a good one. So it kind of comes in. Let's watch this. And it could be because I have dynamics on his neck turned on. So his head just kind of like wobbles there. Oh well, I'll figure that out later. That'll be my polishing pass. As for right now, I'm just going to get through the movements, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. There we go. We're just having fun with it, trying to see what this guy is thinking. So what is he thinking? Does it look like he's... I feel like what we need to do is there needs to be kind of like a spark of something that he sees in there, right? Now he's going to look around like, is anyone watching me? So maybe I'll do a quick blink here. So do a quick blink here. We'll change the mouth shape too. Oh, that's weird. All right. Not fast enough. So he looks in. Okay, I think the eyes need to come up a bit right here. They're getting lost beneath the head. There we go. All right, and then we're going to change mouth shape here to more of a smile. There we go. And I realize now I want the tilt of his mouth to be on the other side. So we'll change it here like that. Okay. And then I need to come in here and delete these. We'll smooth it out. Another thing, his mouth has changed. There we go. I want it to stay like that. And we'll go smooth. I'm going to change, or I'm going to delete all these. We have to have a little movement here, a subtle little kind of like, you know, pop, just to give it that feeling that he's kind of moving a little bit, right? We could change maybe the arms and the hands just a bit. So he's going to pop here. The head will come up. Go back. And then he can maybe drop his arms a little bit. Here, come back. He looks. Okay, this is going to look awful. Because I need to hold it just a second. That's the problem. Is he doesn't look long enough for his brain to kind of process what he's looking at. It just goes straight into looking and surprise. It's like, oh, it's not right. So I need to have him hold for at least a couple frames before he starts, getting into his shocked expression. So if he looks here, what I'll do is I'll copy this and move these out. That's weird. Why didn't that one? Cool. So we'll smooth it out. And what we need to do is paste these keyframes that are here over here. And he'll go, oh, nice. And then he'll do his turn. Okay. Now let's do the same thing with the head. So it needs to hold here. Let's make sure these are smooth. Then we'll paste these into position. All right. So I'm going to move, maybe I'll have the head start the action. Okay, so it'll, at this point, it'll drop downward. So the head's going to kick start this, kind of like, what? So it's got to go down, and then it can pop up. So I think we'll, all right, let's check this out. That's still hitting too fast. All right. I'm going to keep thinking about this. I'll be right back. I'm going to go fill up my water. All right. Where were we? It's got to hold a little longer. Let's see what we got. We're going to hit here. See if I can pull all this out. All right, this might look better. Just have a little bit of a hold. There we go. All right. So now what we get to do is add some fun things like anticipation and squash and stretch into his body. So like for instance here, I'm going to keyframe the scale. And right here he's going to go down just a little bit. I'll do the same here. I'll keyframe the scale. He'll come down just a little bit. And then he'll pop back up into 100 right here. Let's go ahead and change maybe the position of his hips. So I'll keyframe that there. You can quickly drop a little bit, and then he'll pop up. Maybe I can even go above. So it goes boom, and then into position. All right, maybe the arms can come up a bit. Okay. All in all, it's doing okay. It's feeling a little bit stiff. But I'm just trying to get through this quickly so that you guys can get the general idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. And then maybe I'll take a little time later to polish it up off camera so you guys don't have to sit bored through all that. So I'm just going to get through this and let's just see what we come up with. All right, so he's going to look around. So as he looks, I'm going to change his mouth shape to be a little bit more suspicious. All right, let's change the overall appearance. Maybe he won't be so happy. Make him a little bit more like I don't know, what do you call that? That looks better. That looks too worried. I don't want him to look worried. I want him to look like he's what do you call that expression? He's trying to not paranoid. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Just shut up and animate. All right, all this stuff. Change, that looks fine. All right, let's come up with a better expression because this mouth right here does not look right. I think it needs to be open a little bit. Maybe we'll widen it. We'll open it. That looks better, I guess. That could be cool. Maybe it's just not so wide. What about the script in Moho? I saw many YouTubers using a script for squash and stretch. Yeah, you can get scripts in Moho, which is pretty cool. I haven't used any myself. So yeah, scripts are a thing. I'm sure once I get into it a little bit more and I start to learn more about, you know, the different tools that we have at our disposal, I'll look into that. But as of right now, I haven't. I've just been trying to understand how the rigs work and how the animation process works. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with like adding scripts into different things. Maybe it's not as hard as I'm thinking. I don't know. I just didn't really want to. My brain can only process so much information before I just no longer function. All right, that looks fine. So he's gonna look around. And then right here, I'll have him look back into the face. We'll give him a little blink. We'll open this up. The eyelids up as well. And from here, I'll have his head tilt downward. All right, here we go. He is looking in to the vase. It's going to take one last look before he drinks. Okay, actually, let's go ahead and we'll lower these eyes. And we'll center them up a little bit. I'll lower them a little more. Here we go. I'll change the facial expression as well. Let's do something a little more, I don't know, happy? Not so like open mouth happy, more like a, all right, time to drink. All right, let's see. Why did that delete? Oh, it's because I'm on the. Never mind. Okay. All right, let's smooth this out. All right, guys, this is probably going to take a lot of polishing to make it work right. What time did I start? How long has this thing been going on? This chat. I don't even know. Where am I at? Like 9, almost 3 hours. So we're only at like 2.5 hours. This was a tricky one. All right, let's just have him drink. All right, here we go. Drink it. So he's going to look in there once more. I'm going to add a keyframe across the board. And then right here, here we go. He'll first go to the lips, so it'll come up. You can maybe do a little upward movement with his head, but it'll come to the lips, and then he'll go back. So let's do that. We'll do a little, maybe a little movement here in the head and neck, maybe a little in the torso. Head up just a little bit, and we're going to put the bottle to his lips. Okay. Here we go. That's looking good. Let's change the mouth expression. Eyes need to come a little bit to the center and down. Mouth width and tilt. Let's see what we can do. All right, let's lower this down a bit. Yeah, Control F puts a keyframe across everything. Very good. You know, do you use Moho? Let's back this up a bit. All right. And then we'll do the full thing, maybe at least a second, maybe more. So we'll go back, back, maybe head up a bit. Turn the wrist. I don't know if I want to rotate that bottle just, yeah, let's do it. And this will come up. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and smooth all this out. Nice. That looks good. He'll definitely, at least from this point, close his eyes. So I'll do this and that, lower the eyebrows. I'm going to lift these eyes up. There we go. And the lips, we'll go from that to more pursed. Okay, so let's change it. Close them together. I could probably maybe leave it at neutral, and then there we go. All right. Oh, is that what I want? I don't know if that's what I wanted. All right, let's just watch it. See what we got. Oh, I don't have enough. Extend my timeline. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. So now at this point, what we'll do is he'll finish the drink, he'll put it down, maybe look a little, unexpected or unexpecting, just like nothing's changed. And then maybe there'll be a quick like, and then he'll put the bottle down. Then maybe he'll just fall off screen. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of characters just falling over for no reason or not having like a game plan. I feel like falling it's kind of a cop out. It's like the easiest thing you can do. It's like, how do I get this character out of frame? I'll just have him fall. So unfortunately, it's a little unoriginal, but I don't have all day to keep working on this. I got other stuff to do. So, man, it's not looking great. I think that's my biggest problem is I would work on this all day. It just doesn't look that great. So I'm not excited to work on it much longer. All right, let's look. So he's going to take his drink. There he goes. The alignment's a little bit off here. Thanks, McCoy. I appreciate the encouragement. You've given me motivation to work a little bit harder. All right, let's see here. So it goes up to his lips. Let's get it closer to his lips. This one here needs to come in a little bit more. I wonder if, oops. I pushed it out a little bit. Oops. And then I changed the tilt of his mouth. I wonder if that's going to give it more of like a kind of a drinking look. Let's see. I feel like it would have worked. So if his lips hit here, oh, it's the blink. For some reason, his tilt on his lips, it just hits a little too fast. What can help with perspective of him drinking, have the bottle further to the right of his face and move the mouth to match. Ah, yeah. Kind of like what I'm attempting to do at the moment. Yes. So he started 1 week ago, but watching Moho tutorials 2 to 3 months now. You found me Moho live, yeah, or YouTube. Let's see if I turn his head a little bit more. You can see his hair is broken. I don't know what to do about it. Let me see if I have hair on him. Maybe I'll do that. And then, not that. This wasn't the hair I was going for, but I feel like it looks better than what I had on him. All right, so I'll just do that. Okay, so now that his head is turned more to profile, let's match these arms up to him. Because he kind of like, I wonder if I should do more of a body turn as well. Oh, that could be cool too. All right, so if I'm going to extend all this stuff out, oh, dude, that looks so much better. Yeah, thanks, McCoy. You're totally right. Having it like come out looks so much better. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, now I just need to match the lips up to this bottle move because they kind of jump here a little bit too quick. And I guess the question is, or maybe the bottle doesn't jump out quick enough. Let's see. I have an in-between keyframe here. Let me see if I delete that. Oh, that was for his, whoops. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to push the bottle out a little bit further here. I'll adjust this stuff to match. I don't know. It needs some cleanup because something is not right. First of all, I don't think the lips like purse together quick enough. So I think I'll move this in like so. Well, what am I doing? Oh yeah, that. I mean, it gives you the dynamics for the bones and stuff. It kind of gives you some problems eventually. You know, if you're animating a big enough gesture, you're going to find that it's kind of wonky. But for like the small, subtle movements, it I love it. It's just so because it like builds this weight to your character and this like performance that just is so cool. So thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, I was rigging up, I think, this belt, or maybe it was the hair. I was doing something with dynamics, and I thought, well, if it works so well with the hair in the cloth, could you apply it to, you know, like the wrist? And I event or like initially when I first did it, I had it applied to his elbows, and at first I was like, that's so cool, like it really worked. But it only worked if the arms weren't moving. So like if the character's arms were down at their sides and you had them turn or like move to side, it all worked beautifully. It looked like these limbs that were kind of being affected by the body. But then once you start to move the limbs into position, the elbow joint really got funky. And so I was like, okay, it's not going to work. So I turned the elbow off, but I could still get away with the wrist um, translation and then the wrist rotation. Those two still worked pretty good. All right. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was trying to get these lips come together a little bit quicker. So let's have them, there we go. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this tilt, I didn't realize it. The tilt has an animation in the opposite direction. That's not what I want. But I also don't want it to hit out too quickly. So let me move this back. There we go. That's better. I don't know if you've seen this. Like you said, bone dynamics can be a bit unwieldy. Sometimes bone dynamics can jump switch twitch or jump twitch at frame 1. What you can do is set your dynamics is set up as a buffer zone. What you can do to set your dynamics is set up a buffer zone. Oh, so you're like, are you saying have it be off here at like frame 0 and then on at frame 1, or have it off at frame 1 and then on at like frame 6? Is that kind of what you're saying? All right, so rather than starting animation on 1, start at frame 24. Oh, set your keys for dynamic. Set your keys for dynamics on at frame 12. Interesting. So you would start. Would you start the playback? Wait, how does that work? The playback at frame 24, like that, or oh wait, no, that doesn't work. I guess playback would be where it's supposed to be. I would just start the timeline for the animation at 24. also works really good for your visibility keys and other things. Okay, that's something that I've been really curious about is like, I know that if you go to frame like 30 and you import anything, the visibility is turned off before those keyframes, before those first 30 keyframes, and then it's turned on at that point. Is there a way to turn off visibility? Like, let's say that I have a character here and they're on for, we'll say 60 frames. Is there a way to turn that off? Like in After Effects, it would be simply like, ending the visibility of that keyframe by doing like, was it control right bracket? I haven't figured out how to change the visibility of a layer yet. And that's kind of frustrated me because I've, like sometimes I'll have an object in a scene and then I want that object to just disappear, like just to be gone. And the way that I have to do it right now is either turn the opacity completely off at that keyframe or move that object off my focal point. I don't know if that question makes sense. You don't have to do it on this project, but you would start your animation on frame 24 instead of frame 1. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. I see that there's a head movement here. That is not what I want. So let's go to this here. There we go. Let's have him close his eyes again. I think I deleted those keyframes. There's an option for move all keyframe or all key from CTI position. Or you could select layer, go to layer settings and click off the visibility check mark, click on. So select the layer. In layer settings, click off the visibility check mark. Does that do like add a keyframe? Let's see. Oh, dude. Sometimes things are just so simple. Oh, I love it. That makes sense. Look at that. Thanks, man. That should have been something. It's so like that's kind of the point I've been making. It's like it's a different language than After Effects, and a lot of times, what I found with Moho is like the simplest solution. Like in After Effects, the ability to change layers as you go and like animate the ordering of layers, that should have been something that's been in there since the beginning. And it's like you can do that in Moho just because it makes sense. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, back to the visibility. Thank you, McCoy. That's great. And then if I want, I should be able to just delete that to turn it back on. That's cool. All right, so let's close these eyes. There we go. I'll lower the eyebrows a little bit. The advantage of creating all your visibility keys, visibility keyframe in a buffer zone. Like frame 12, once you have visibility channel created, you can double click the timeline to create an on-off visibility key. Oh, that makes sense. So pick those eyes up so they don't get buried deep in the skull. There we go. He's drinking. I really like the ability to rotate the character. It just makes it feel so much more alive. And yeah, and hitting that profile is just so perfect. Okay, so he's going to take this drink. I think I'll hold it for a few keyframes, maybe right here. And we'll throw some keyframes across the board. And then I'll have him lower the drink. Kind of be satisfied. Keep his head up like, that was nice. And then it's going to hit him. Then he's going to realize that what he just drank might not have been good for him. So then we'll have the body, the head, everything kind of rotate a little bit more of a natural pose. Arms will come down. Bottle will drop. Could maybe even have him I don't know, maybe that'll probably complicate things because I don't have his arms set up to be like go in front of his face right now. I was gonna say it'd be cool to, wipe his mouth, but yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate things. So he takes a drink and he's gonna lower. Lower the, let's see, the eyes will open here. We'll give him a smile. There we go. Oh, that'd be so cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's very cool of you, McCoy. I appreciate that. Shout out to McCoy. If you guys have any questions, he offers one-on-one. Probably, I'm assuming there's some charge involved. You can work that out with him. But yeah, man, that'd be super helpful. Yeah, there's like just a few things that I've noticed that I'm like, Moho would be perfect if only this didn't happen. And I'm sure a lot of the errors that I'm seeing in my rigs are probably because I just didn't set it up properly to begin with. All right, let's go back to this. Let's see. I kind of want it feels a little too stiff in the arm movement here. And I feel like maybe right here in the middle, what we can do is bend the forearm upward, rotate the bottle outward. Oops. And that might give it a little bit more of a natural bend. Let's just see what happens. Or maybe it just doesn't change anything. I don't know. I don't know. All right, so he does the drink. Bottle comes down. I feel like I want him to maybe turn. He's got his drink going. Maybe we'll move the eyes around. All right, back to the blink. I feel like he'll hold it here. And then we'll speed this up a little bit. And then the eyes, I want the eyes to be maybe dart over a little bit more. We'll put them back here. And as the eyes open, they'll kind of shift into place a little more quickly. And the same with the mouth. Let's get that getting into position a little bit quicker. I'll move this over. There we go. Now let's just see how that feels. He looks down. He goes, ah, nice. He takes his drink. Feels a little slow, a little anticlimactic, so I'll speed it up. It just needs to be a little bit more snappy. Snap, snap. So from here to here, let's see if we can just scrunch it in. Oops. Feels like it's doing the trick. Okay. So let's go back into here, and I want to change a little bit more in this pose that he has. So maybe what I'll do is move this around. Maybe I can even rotate it forward a bit. Okay. All right, so he takes his drink and he finishes his drink. I feel like these arms need to be in a little bit closer to his body. He feels a little stiff. So let's pull this bottle closer to him, right? Let's go like that. And then I scaled him down so I can scale him up here a little bit. Maybe we'll go back to 100. And I scale this back up to 100. So down and up. I don't know if that works or not, but then I can put this little guy up. All right. So we've got that movement, which feels a little too like, Let's see if we can clean that little movement up. I probably just need to get rid of that keyframe right before he tucks it in. Or this one right here. Let's just see if I get rid of that. Does it feel a little more like... I think so. Let's check out this guy here. T. Let's move him back and down. All right, so he's going to kind of drop here. Maybe I'll move this in. So he drops down, and then I want him to kind of like pop up. Put it over here. Is that right? Down, up. All right, so he's going to come down and up. Let's check out this guy here. So we've got our rotation. So if he's going to come down, maybe we can pop him back up here just to feel like it's, you know, a little bit springy. All right, that's not too bad. What I think we can do is as the arms come down, or as the whole body comes down, I think the head can come down too. So we'll lower it here. Maybe we'll keep it profiled a little bit more there. So it's coming down, and then it's going to pop up about here. So it'll come up and then over. All right. There we go. That's feeling good. All right, the head's moving right here. So let's see what's going on. So he comes up, he's drinking, and then he goes. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the same thing there. So we'll lower that head down and then I'll pop it up here. Boom. Okay. That's not too bad. It feels a little slow still, so maybe I'll speed this whole little section up. There is like a pop that's happening here with his head. That's because they're linear. So let's smooth that out. Still very snappy. Boop. All right. Either way, let's see what we're gonna do. Here to here, I'm gonna tighten these keyframes up a bit. Oops. That feels a little too fast now. All right, I'm gonna go back. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I wonder if I keep the bottle on his lips up through this point. Can it be done? Okay, we lose it here. Okay, so I would say his head is dropping a little bit too much at this point. So if I raise it up, maybe that'll fix part of the problem. All right, that looks better, I guess. Okay, cool. Not too bad. Again, I'm just going to blow through this thing and polish it up later. So he's going to take a drink. Maybe he'll do a quick little look. And turn the head this way. Open the eyes. And at this point, the eyes will then move over here. Maybe like that. Okay. How to cut the timeline. Okay. So if you hold Alt on the keyboard and left click on the mouse, you can extend it back. Or if you hold right, I'm sorry, if you hold Alt and then click the mouse with the right button, then you can extend it, to the right. I'm sorry. Hold Alt, and then left and right click the mouse. That'll change the timeline preview for you. So that's the shortcut. All right, so we've got him drinking this thing. He's going to be looking around. You know what? Instead of having him kind of be like shocked at what's in the bottle, I think maybe I'll just have him pass out. We'll just do a slow, like, I'm just going to keep it simple, guys. I'm hungry. I want to go get some lunch. And sometimes less is more. And I think in this situation, less is more. So I'll do this. I'm going to hold it. Add a keyframe across the board here. And then simply what I'm going to do, I'm losing my voice too, so this is perfect timing. Whoops. Where is my, oh yeah, anchor point. Oh, perfect. My anchor point is right where I want it to be, basically. And what I'm going to do is just rotate him back. Oops. All right, now let's see. Here's my rotation. This might be where I want a Bezier. I think it is. So what I'll do is come into my graph editor. I'm going to come up here, find my rotation. I'm going to change these to Bezier. And the reason I do that is because I want it to be a very slow kind of like turn out. And then he hits hard. That might be a little too hard, but you know, you get the picture. And this is going to be cropped out, so we won't really see it. But let's come back to the beginning so that we can watch our whole animation. So he grabs it. That needs work. He drinks it. He says, yep, that was good. All right. All in all, it's not bad. I think it gets the point across. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit. But for the most part, you get the idea. He's drinking something that maybe he doesn't even know what it is. And then he collapses. With a little bit of polish, I think it's going to be really nice. So thank you guys for sticking around. Those of you that did, thank you guys for your input. All of you guys who answered questions or asked questions, McCoy, thanks again for being a part of this. You're always such a huge help whenever you join and you see me kind of treading water, just trying to stay afloat. You're like, hey, you should do this instead. It's super helpful. But thank you guys, all of you, for making this happen. And I'll take some time to polish this up. And then when it's done, I'll post it to Instagram and, you know, we'll see what it looks like. Again, as always, thank you for watching. And I will catch you guys next week. So, yes, adios.